Hello, in this video we're going to go over setting up surveys in your Zelt account. Whether you're running engagement surveys or a pulse check-ins with your team, a quick surveys, I'll show you how to set that up in the app. So if you head over to growth and surveys, here in my account you see I already have a few ongoing ones, which I'll show you in a moment, but let's go through the creation flow. So when you want to add a new survey, you can give it an internal name in case you are using maybe a longer name that appears to administrators and managers. And you can set up a display name so that a shorter one will appear to your participants. Once you've set up the names, hit save, and now we are inside of the settings of this draft survey that I've created just now. In the General tab, you're able to update the names or delete the cycle if you don't want to launch it anymore, or you can also delete the existing one that's been launched. In the questions step, there are 3 ways on how you can add questions to your survey. You can start with a template. You'll see that there are a few already prepared by Zelt, or you can add your own ones in the company settings. You can also select some questions from your question library, or you can create a new question directly in the survey. So when you ask the question, you can also set a factor. A factor allows you to group multiple questions around a similar topic or a theme that helps you to analyze these questions in bulk. So for example, you can add multiple questions around teamwork and then understand better how it measures across your team. You can also set the type of the question to be a comment, so an open-ended question, a scale and a comment, single choice, multiple choice, and you can also add comments to those. If you select scale, there are a couple of options already available to you. NPS, which is 0 to 10, agreement, which is strongly agree to strongly disagree. We use 1 to 5 scale points for agreement, satisfaction, quality, frequency, expectations, and importance. And each point has a sentiment and a value assigned to it. That helps us then produce impact analysis, positive sentiment analysis, and also understand the NPS type score for all of the scales that you're using. So for this specific question, I will add the agreement scale and hit add the question. Next step is to add participants. Here you have a few settings, whether you want to add everyone, select specific. Here the list can be filtered by department and site. Let's say I want to add everybody from headquarters, office, or since this is called actually all teams, I will just simply go ahead and add everyone. You can also set anonymity settings here. If you would like this survey to be anonymous, so no information of the participant to be collected, you can select between the full anonymity, where there is no name shown, no demographic data is collected, or semi-anonymous, where some demographic data will be collected to help you analyze it in more detail, things like site, department, gender, and tenure. You hit save, and the next step is timeline settings. Here you have the option to decide whether this survey should be kicked off immediately or if you want to schedule it for later. If you wanted to start right now, you can set the deadline for when the survey will be finalized or how long will participants have to answer your survey. So here my survey will be open for a week and it only runs once. Hit save here, and the next step is notifications. You can set the reminder for your participants and customize the invite message. In the last step, you have a chance to review all of your settings, the number of questions, participants, the anonymity settings. If you're happy with it, hit Start Survey, and now the invites are out. Employees can start participating in this review. So once your employees log to Zelt, they will see in action items the invite pending for the survey that you have just invited them to. They can start it from here. In the answer flow, they will be able to select any of the points that you have selected for the scale and submit the answer once they're ready. Once the results for your engagement survey start coming in and you have more participants finalizing their answers, you will be able to check in on the results in the Insights page. This page shows you the participation rate of your survey, the overall survey score, which is a normalized score across the survey out of 100%. You will also be able to see the factor score, which shows you the performance of each of the factors used in the survey. There is also the section on the biggest impact, which shows you the questions that had the most meaningful impact on your factors that you're looking to analyze in your survey, that you used in your survey. You can select how you want to show the score here, you can select NPS, which will show you the positive sentiment marks minus the negative, keeping the neutral kind of as it is. There's also the positive sentiment measure that will only measure the points that had the positive sentiment, so agree and strongly agree. And the average score, which is an average, let's say a 4 out of 5 or a 7 out of 10, depends on the scales that you have used in your survey. So here I'm using the average score, and I can understand the impact on the engagement factor. Which questions actually impacted the engagement the most? What does impact mean? Here we're using the correlation analysis to understand how does the answer to the specific question among your employees impact the performance of that specific factor and the scores that this factor has gained overall across multiple questions. In the Results tab, you'll be able to see a more detailed overview of all of the questions used in your survey. You can see, again, the answers measured by average, the NPS type of score, which will show you the breakdown between the positive, neutral, and negative sentiment answers. If you switch to positive sentiment, here you will see just the percentage of the answers that selected the positive type of scale, so anything from very important, very good, and on the higher end of scale. And then the impact score can be shown for any of the factors that you have used in your survey. So in the Heatmap page, you're able to take a look at all of the questions and compare the answers across different demographic groups. You can select sites, departments, gender, and tenure, and compare how do different groups respond to the same questions. If there are certain differences that you should pay attention to, perhaps there are some departments that need a lot more attention than others. They're struggling with getting the teamwork or engagement. This is the page where you would highlight the differences as such. So this wraps up the overview of the surveys feature in Zelt, and we look forward to hearing your feedback. Thank you.